If this isn't motherhood, I don't know what is.
Right?
Jeez.
We're live. Are we live?
Yay! I think so. Hi.
If you're
Hello,
here,
everybody. So, welcome to our chat with me, our monthly chat with me. Today, I'm so excited. We'll introduce ourselves in case you guys don't know, and then, oh, hold on. Sorry, I got to mute us. Monthly chat with me.
Yep.
Today.
There we go.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
So today we have a lot to talk about. So let's just get into introductions real quick, and then we'll get started. Sarah, go for it.
Yeah.
All right. Sarah from The Bookish Knitter. That's pretty much all that you need to know about me. Hi.
Sarah, I have a question for you. Hi, everybody. My name is Bree. I'm on Instagram, Calling for Romance. Sarah, when are we doing another Sweater Weather podcast?
Yeah.
I was on it last night. Like, where is she?
Work is a thing, and I'm like, I just don't have time to knit like I used to, you know?
Yeah. I know. I need some sweater weather. I just need. So yesterday I was like trying to take a nap, and I put on like the live stream for the Kindle Clear Out readathon live show or whatever. And so I put that on because I'm like, I just need comforting voices in the background, which is sweater weather for me. So nothing else. Do it for my nap.
Do a haul or
I'm
something.
gonna try. I was talking to Rainey about it. I'm gonna try for once a month. So
Okay.
yeah, we'll see
I
how
can
that
do
goes.
that. I accept that. Hello, Antonella. Hello.
Hi, everybody
Hello,
coming in.
everyone.
And Tasha.
Yay. Amanda, hello. So, should we just get into it, ladies?
Yeah, do y'all want to talk about what we're currently reading first?
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
You
I'm
guys
so
go excited for our other topic, but you know,
This-
I asked y'all today, what are y'all reading? What are y'all reading?
We haven't talked about that actually lately. So go ahead, Sarah.
I am reading Saving Mariana by Laurie Robinson, which is a Harlequin historical which takes place during the Salem witch trials.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, and Laurie Robinson, I love her stuff. Like I've mentioned 1,000 times, one of my favorite historicals is by her. And I'm liking it, but I'm just not sure yet. This is a time period that really doesn't blend well for romance.
That's true.
America, you know, like
Yeah.
I mean, kudos to her and kudos to Harlequin for publishing it. But I mean, it's good. I'll reserve judgment. I should finish it today, but it's not bad. I'm enjoying it.
Good.
That's
Everybody.
interesting.
Yeah, I know. Like, there's kind of a lot going on there.
You know,
You don't know the fate of some of the townspeople. That's just
they were kind of busy being accused of witchcraft to really be doing anything. Of being hung. Yes.
Yes.
So I was in the mood. Well, the library had the audiobook, so I was like, let's do it. I started a historical fiction novel. It's like World War II and 1492 Italy involving a painting, Leonardo da Vinci. So it has short chapters, which we love short chapters, but the book is like 440 pages. So I feel like I'm not making any progress.
Yeah. I feel like I have read a book very similar to that, but I think it was like a Jojo Moyes. Do you read her? Have you read her? What's that called? If anybody in the comment knows what I'm talking about, I don't know. Anyway, I am currently reading, it's where I can't reach it right now, but I'm reading Sisters by Kelly Coates Gilbert. And I have like not heard really anybody, I haven't heard about this author or anything, but it's a pretty good story of three sisters who come together because one of their husbands dies. And it's set in a ski town in Idaho. And so I keep waiting. Like I read so many Christmas books lately. I'm like, where's the Christmas? What's going on? But it's not a Christmas book at all, but it's set and it's like, it should be. And it's like giving me kind of Christmas Sisters vibe.
Nice.
So. One of you, I meant to ask, because I took the kids to Barnes and Noble a little bit ago, and I did not realize that, what is the new Sarah Morgan called?
One More for Christmas.
One More for Christmas. Did either one of y'all get that physically? Did you buy? I didn't know it was out already.
No.
I'm waiting for the UK edition to be released. I want the UK cover.
And the Rand thing is out too. I didn't know. Like, I feel like the publicity for those wasn't
I
as big
agree.
as they are.
I agree.
Hold on. Bree, you just got called out.
She's probably drinking too.
Yeah. Oh, the day we have all seemed to have had. I'm shocked we don't just. We should be sponsored by like Tito's.
Yeah.
These videos brought to you by Tito's.
Izzy said it's a traveling librarian.
No, it's not that one. It's actually I have it somewhere. I don't have my glasses on. Hold on. Keep talking amongst yourselves. Let me find my glasses.
So yeah, I saw those and I was like last year, I feel like Harlequin publicity team did Rand Thane's Christmas book. And I'm like, yo, I did not know already.
Yeah. I'm seeing Sarah Morgan post personally about the book, but I'm not seeing the publisher post about the book.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Which is odd.
The book I was talking about is The Girl You Left Behind by Jojo Moyes.
Okay.
It's an older one, but it's kind of the same thing. It's like a historical back and forth about a painting.
And that's kind of why I stopped reading historical fiction, because everything kind of started to feel the same.
Yeah.
But I do miss it. I don't know. World War II doesn't really interest me that much, and that's all you see. Yeah. But I was like, we'll give it a try. We'll give it a try.
Yes.
Thank you, Kayla. Day drinking is the best. It
is. It's just wine. Yeah. Day drinking is the best. And especially like now that I'm older, I'm like, I don't have time to be up all night drinking, like doing those kind of things. Like, let's start drinking at around noon. Then I'll be like done and tired by bedtime and it'll be fine.
Look, if I drink this at 8, by 8:15, I'm done.
I'm out. Yeah. Yeah. I know. We were talking, so Facebook or something, a memory popped up of me and 2 of my girlfriends, like out somewhere. I don't even know. And we all have like little kids now. And we're like, gosh, that just looking at that picture exhausts me. Like, I cannot believe like we would go out at 10 or 11. And now I'm like, that's the middle of the night, guys.
I've already been asleep for like.
Yeah, right. Like I'm thinking about waking up, not going to bed. Jeez.
Okay. The last time that I stayed up till like 1 a.m, I was like, oh, look at me. I'm going to watch the movie on Hulu. And so then I put on Night of the Living Dead, like the old one. And I was like, what are you doing? This is scary. Right? In the morning, turn it off and go to bed. I like pulled out my phone, turned on my Rain app.
There you go.
We're not about that life.
Heck no.
Not
anymore. Okay. Topic. Who's kicking off?
Let's get into it. So background as to why we're talking about this today. Sarah Bree and I read a book recently in which fertility was brought up. So it was a women's fiction about, I think, 3 sisters. Wasn't it 3? Maybe 4. 3 sisters, I think. One of them struggled with fertility. And so in the beginning, I think all 3 of us either cried or got close to it because it was like you were in the trenches with this couple. They had gotten to a point where they did not agree about how to move forward with the fertility issues. And you were just right there, like very, very emotional. And then, oops, we got pregnant as soon as we stopped thinking about it. And so we just all have different perspectives on that and wanted to talk about that. And just the use of fertility as a struggle in a novel. And can it ever be done right? Or is it always done wrong? Is it ever something that should be used? Is it overused, underused? Let's just get into everyone's thoughts.
And having Sarah here, which is a woman who has chosen to not have kids, it's like it's an even deeper conversation.
Yeah, exactly. This we could be here a while.
Yeah.
The one thing that I will say, like the book, should we say the title of the book?
I don't see why not.
Okay. So
because I did just kind of spoil the ending.
I know.
Well, okay. Yeah, I think
it came out last month, guys. It came out last month with the Christmas women's fiction. we're even unclear on that because it started out very strongly women's fiction and then
Yeah.
turned into a romance. But
Yeah.
like the scene that got me, and like we said, it started off really strong, and I was like, oh, this is going to be a really 5-star women's fiction novel. Was like when her and her husband, they find out it didn't work again, and he's just like, I'm done. Like, I'm tired of seeing you put yourself through this. Like, I felt that. I was like, you don't think about how that affects the other person, and they get tired of seeing you put yourself through that. And she didn't get that. And then like the one thing that really bothered me was that she finds out when she's left to like go hang out with her sisters. You know, I was just like, I get it, because that's the way the story worked. But
so it was like the farewell bang that got her pregnant.
Yeah.
With
yes.
And so that's
one time that they're no longer trying, you know.
Right. Which, okay, so just for background too, my perspective, my husband and I struggle with infertility. And so both of our girls are the product of a lot of interventions, we'll say. Sarah has chosen not to have children, and Bree is a normal person. Not that you're not, Sarah, but like, and Bree is just your average Joe that has 3 kids and, you know, whatever.
I get cut in half.
Yeah. You're a C-section mama. But anyway, so, Sarah, what are your thoughts? You go ahead.
Sorry, my internet cut out for about half a second.
Just your thoughts on any of this topic.
I mean, I learned a lot from you that I didn't know before. And had I have gone into this book without it being a buddy read and without talking to and finding out more, I would have come to it being, oh my God, this is fantastic, and how sweet the ending was. And you know what I mean? Like that. But until I experienced it through somebody else's eyes and realized the reality of it and how much of this really was fiction, and that doesn't happen, it changed it for me. And I think that not only was this doing a disservice to women who have dealt with this personally, but also to women who have never dealt with it. Like I said, how many women are reading it thinking, it's so wonderful, or saying to their girlfriend who's struggling with infertility, don't worry, I just read this book and it happens to. Do you know what I mean? In reality, it could be a big disservice in a lot of different areas, are my thoughts.
Yeah. So, Antonella brought up the friend zone, which is one that I have intentionally avoided because I have heard it's about infertility, and then one time, boom, sex. So do we think using infertility, can that be done well, or how can it be done well?
Well, okay, because Sarah, I want you to keep going because you have an entire perspective on just kids in romance anyway, as someone who has chosen to not have kids. So what are your thoughts kind of on that? Like, if they're already in the book, great. But then like something happens in the book, and then at the end, it's like happy ever after they had kids. And it's like, that's not the happy ever after everybody chooses.
Yeah. Like I want to know your thoughts on like the prevalence of the happily ever after being marriage and kids.
So very, very quick background for those who don't know is that, yes, I chose not to have children, but it was because of medical reasons. I was sat down and told this is what could happen. This is what might not happen if you choose to. And I decided not to, my choice. So I was lucky enough to be given the choice, unlike a lot of women who struggle with infertility who were not given that choice. Anyway, so I'm married. I have two fur babies. So I'm mom with my babies. And I just think that you don't have to have kids to have the happily ever after. You do not need the white picket fence, the 2.5 kids, and the dog. Why can't the romance end with, and we got married? Or not even to that point, but we decided to see how it works out. You know, I just feel that a lot of romances, and Harlequins, as they are my favorite, are the most guilty of this, where it has to wrap up with the I love yous and the weddings and the guess what, I'm pregnant. There are other options, and that's what's lacking. And it does a disservice to all of us women who made that decision. It doesn't make me feel that way because I'm strong in what I've decided to do. But I could see women reading this who are making the same decision, thinking that maybe they're less than because they didn't choose to do what their bodies were supposed to do or what they were supposed to do after they got married. Because we've all experienced it, right? Like you start dating somebody and it's like, hey, when are you getting married? And then you get married and it's like, hey, when are you having a baby? You know, doesn't have to be the way it goes. Why can't it be? When are you going to Bali? So when are you getting your dog? So when are you buying a house? You know, like I think society puts pressure on women to follow a certain line of what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You mentioned Harlequin. Is it something you see still, or was it more of the older titles? Because I feel like Harlequin writers nowadays are pretty 2020 women. We don't have to.
Better. They're getting a lot better, but there are still certain lines, like probably the romance line is guilty of it. I'd say the heartwarming line is guilty of it. That you see that more often in stuff like the desire line, where you know it's a different type of character, but then again, they're that very high, you know, billionaire, but you're still seeing a lot of secret babies, and we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
For you, what did you think? Because you're, I know, but like tell everybody.
Yeah.
You're reading it. You're like, nope, it doesn't happen like this.
Yes. Okay. So hold on. First, a comment on that. As a married woman with 2 children and 2 children that I have worked very hard for, and we are very, 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 very blessed to have, this is not the happily ever after. Like, you know, if our story would have ended when Annie was born or when Ainsley was born or at any point, like that's when it gets hard. You know, that is not the happily ever after. And so this is kind of a critique of romance in general, because personally, I'm more a fan of the happy for now. And I think you see more of that in YA, but whatever. But like, I just feel like a happily ever after is not the happily ever after maybe when my kids are grown and we've successfully raised kids. You know, I don't know. It's just not necessarily like you find out you're pregnant and happily ever after. That's not how it is. And so our journey, we had to, in order to have either of our kids, I had to take daily shots. I had to commute 2 hours to get internal sonograms, which I think we've almost got all women in the chat. So I think you guys all know how those are, every other day. And with Annie, we did that for 7 months. And so to read this book where do they get into specifics about what's wrong?
But it does say that she did IVF.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So IVF. So we didn't the way fertility stuff works is there's kind of a spectrum of things. There can be problems with the woman, problems with the man. If a problem is with the man, it almost always leads to IVF. If there's a severe problem with the man, it almost always leads to IVF because sperm, there's billions of them. And so they can go through and pick out the good ones and do what they need to do with the good ones. With women, there's kind of 2 categories of problems, either people who can't get pregnant or people who can't stay pregnant. IVF typically works for people who can't get pregnant. And now I'm speaking 100% in generality. So there are exceptions to everything I'm saying right now. But so if they did IVF, basically what IVF is they artificially grow a whole bunch of eggs in the woman. So not artificially, they're your eggs, but they give you a whole bunch of medication to make you grow a ton of eggs, as many eggs as you can. So many so that they say right before your retrieval, it's hard to walk because you are so bloated and have so much going on in your lady regions, like in your lower stomach. And they, like for me, well, we'll get into that. And so then they take out those mature eggs and they fertilize them with your husband's sperm in a petri dish or something, and they preserve them. And so they watch and see which embryos grow 5 days or more and which ones are viable then. So then after they find which ones are viable, they put them back in and just hope they'll take and that you will be pregnant. So it is a very, very, very involved process in which your body as a woman goes through so much. And so basically and that's like the end of the line, aside from surrogacy, adoption, etc., which we'll talk more about later. But if you are going to have your own natural children, however you want to say it, IVF is kind of the end of the line. So if their problems are that bad, the likelihood of just wham, bam, thank you, we're pregnant.
That works.
So slim. So our problems, we've got some IUI ladies in the chat, which IUI is sort of what we did. Basically, they give you the medication to help you grow eggs, and then either inject sperm into you, or or you have timed intercourse where, it's like, okay, you get another shot to force ovulation, and then, you guys do what you got to do. And so my point is, if you are going through all of this, one, it's incredibly financially draining. For me, like, I had to have shots every day, and about 3 days worth of shots was anywhere from $1,200 to $2,300. Thank God our insurance covered it, and so we were paying a small copay, but most insurances do not. And so,
on top of the 2 hours there and 2 hours back every other day.
Yeah. And I mean, working through this kind of thing is next to impossible. My point is, it consumes your entire life. And so that's why when they were saying, he's saying, I'm done, like, I can't see you go through this, I told you guys, I was like, she must have experience with this, because it is so all consuming for you as the female. But also you as a couple. It's a lot for your husband to watch you give yourself shots or take pills or whatever. There's a bunch of different ways to get there, but it's a lot. And so, and doctors, like for us, they wouldn't proceed at all until I had to have a bunch of different tests, surgeries, that kind of thing, to make sure they understood the problem fully before they would medicate you, because it just is so much. And so especially IVF, will only do that if your chances of conceiving naturally are very, very, very low.
Because look, can I ask a question real quick?
Yes,
so after they find the ones that grow, I think you said, after the days, and then they put it in. You can still lose it, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So we have, there's a lot of infertility support groups and things on Facebook, and there are so often people who will go through multiple rounds of IVF and never get pregnant. And also, you have to pay to store those embryos, because they freeze them while because you insert one, maybe two at a time. And depending how many you get, you have to pay for that. And like, it's so much, and they do not do it lightly. Doctors do not do it lightly. So I don't know statistically what the percentage is, like, and it depends on specifically what their problem was, her problem, his problem, whatever. But it is so small. And the way she talked to me as somebody who has struggled with infertility, the way this author talked to me and said, like, I hear you, I see you, in the beginning, was like, this is going to be good. And then for her to just be, oops. And like, going through the fertility process, we chose not to share that we were doing it with anybody, our friends, our family. Nobody knew, because when they do, with Annie, we had to, because logistically, I had to have a babysitter for Ainsley because she couldn't come into all the sonography. We just had to, for logistical reasons, let certain people know. And it's always, well, maybe you should slow down and not stress so much. Well, maybe you should eat this diet, or maybe you should do more of this, less of this. Maybe you guys should just stop trying for a little bit, and then it'll happen. Yeah. And it's like, no, there are physiological issues going on here where you just stop. Like, saying that to somebody who is struggling with fertility, please don't ever, ever, ever do it, because your intentions are always so good to give advice, but that's not how it goes. And so, like, that being one of the most infuriating, heartbreaking things when somebody says that, that's what this book said, is like, stop trying and then you'll get pregnant.
Yeah.
And so then what about me? We've stopped trying and we're not getting pregnant. I'm not talking about me like with seriously, because hell no, we're not trying to get pregnant right now. But like, so what does that say about me? If I, and just personally, I'm like monopolizing this conversation, so I will talk quick. But when the problem is with you, there's a lot of insecurities anyway. And when, you know, it's something with you and you're like, why is my body just not doing what it's supposed to do? And Steph, thank you for caring and for listening. I see that you're sharing too, and I can't wait to hear what you're saying. But there's a lot of insecurities that go along with that. And so then when you read a book like this and you hear, well, all she had to do was stop trying. Like she was like me. She had to do IVF. She had the problems that I had, and she was like me. And then all she did was relax and her body did it. Why is my body still not doing what it's supposed to do? Why is that still not me? And, you know, this is happening for everybody else. You know, that's also a perspective that's really easy to like get wrapped up in, of everybody else can just have babies. Why can't I? What's wrong with my body that I can't? And so reading books like this, that's why I was telling you guys, like, this is a hard no for me, because Sarah and maybe even Bree, like, you guys read it and don't see anything of it. And not saying you're insensitive. I'm saying because you don't have any reason to. Yeah. But for the 1 in 8 people who struggle with infertility, 1 in 8, you guys, that look around your friends, 1 in 8 are struggling. That's not a majority, but it's a lot to then like put in that position of saying something is even more wrong with me. So for me, it's a hard no.
Yeah. And when we first started it and we got that scene, I was like, please don't go that route. Like, the rest of the book, you're bracing yourself, like, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
And then it happened. And Antonella brought up The Friend Zone. The Friend Zone was the first book that I read that I was like, really? I didn't know people did that, right? And like I shared with you two, I get the author's intention. You're writing a romance or a women's fiction. You want to provide that hope. But then I think there's also like a line where you cross and it becomes harmful, because you're writing a book in a genre for women by women, and that's just not the case. You might have a woman like struggling with infertility reading these books to make her happy, and then that happens, you know. My sister has had 3 kids. My first niece, she passed away. She can't carry kids past like 25 weeks. So my niece that is alive, she barely speaks over a whisper because she had a trach in her throat for a long time. And now my nephew has cerebral palsy. So it's different. Like, she was able to get pregnant, but I still am like, I try to be really aware of like how harmful that can be. Like, I know you want to be hopeful, but there's also harmful. And I would have loved the story even more had it just not worked and her and her husband been like, well, we're just in this together.
Yeah. Well, and for me, it's like anytime that you take something as sensitive as fertility, you know, people who are going to go through things like IVF and that kind of thing, they really want kids, you know. So as an author, if you choose to make that the struggle within your book, within a character, please do, because that's making a lot of people feel seen. But if you are making then somebody feel seen the way I felt seen with this character, and then you've got to make sure you're responsible with that, because then, you know, then letting it down in that way is like, gosh darn it, you know. And it makes people who do struggle be like, oh, this is just another infertility story where she's going to get pregnant. That's not real life. That's not what I'm going to do. And it cheapens the book, and it makes, like, we were talking about this. I saw an interview with the author. We're not naming the specific book. I think somebody asked. We're not naming the specific book because we are kind of trashing it right now.
And spoiling it.
And spoiling it. Yeah.
Spoiling it, yeah. It came out in September. It's a Christmas book.
Yeah, it's a Christmas book that we all buddy read an arc of. But I saw an interview with the author, and I was like, everything she said was annoying to me. And just because, like, I now have such a tainted view of this author because of the way she portrayed fertility, and the way I felt like, just if she would have had some sensitivity readers, it would have been a thing. And we read it as an ARC, and at the time that we read it, there were very few reviews on Goodreads, but not a single one mentioned this infertility thing. And so I think I think it's not something that is going to impact everybody. And I know I am especially sensitive to it, but I just think when you are talking about something so sensitive, just being a little more aware is necessary.
And I also think that it kind of reverts back to like an old way of thinking. I think one of you mentioned it earlier, like there's this expectation that as women, everybody wants to be mothers. And then for the women that do choose to become mothers, then there's that reality of like, not all of our lady parts work the way that they're supposed to work. And it's going to be hard. And it's kind of like that false sense of hope. Like if you want a kid, you're going to get a kid.
Yeah. And no, sometimes you're not. Yeah. We have so many great comments. So, Steph said Abby Jimenez who wrote The Friend Zone. She put an author's note to explain, because the Happily Ever After playlist would have been dogged had she not put a note. Yeah, I think that is one way to at least help. We've got other people saying show respect to the people who are going through the same thing, and then talk to sensitivity readers. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. You asked earlier if we think that it can be done well. And I think that it could. I just think, I mean, get some sensitivity readers to read it for you. And just, I mean, if are you not like speaking to doctors and doing the research to find out, okay, how many women actually do get pregnant using this, naturally, like in there? Because I think didn't she mention that she lost one? So like maybe it worked a little bit, but because she's talking about her period in the book. Like she was like bracing herself. So I was like, maybe it worked and then she lost it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just want to see it be done where the couple decide we'll just freaking travel the world together. Our money will be our money. Like it's okay. They don't have to have kids,
There were so many different options of things that she could have done. And like you were saying about doing her research. Well, if you're going to do your research, me as someone who did not write the book, I didn't know, and I can claim ignorance about IVF because I've never dealt with it, nor have I known anyone who's dealt with it. But if I was an author writing a book with that in it, you damn well sure I'm going to do my research.
Everything. All of it.
So right. I think that's purely on the author for not doing their research.
Yeah. Yeah. Gosh darn it, I was going to say something else and I'll forget. No, you're good. A lot of people are talking about the idea of like being a real woman and what that means. And I 100%, people who choose to not be parents are just as much parents, they're just as much women. And just because you don't have biological children does not mean you don't mother something, or that like Sarah and your fur babies. And like Sarah, you are one of the most kind of nurturing people.
Yeah.
But despite the fact that you don't have biological children.
But been a great nephews, Bernard and Goran.
Yeah.
Presley now.
But I can tell you, I went into a job interview this summer because, I was out of work for a while, and I'm not going to name the company. I don't work for this company. It's a completely different company that I work for. And I got questioned. We were just chatting in the interview, and the woman says to me, she goes, "So do you have any kids?" And I'm like, "No, And she goes, "Oh." And she goes, "Well, are you planning on any?" Okay, well, that's none of your damn business.
Right.
Yeah. And I think the question was more coming from a place of, all right, are we going to have to pay you for the
maternity leave
that you're going to be off on mat leave? And I've joked with my husband saying, because I chose not to have kids. Now we know somebody, a friend of the family, who literally every time she came back from mat leave was pregnant with her next one. Because you get a year here.
Well, yeah, you get a year in Canada.
And now it's 18 months in Canada that you get, a year and a half. So she would come back pregnant. She has like 5 kids. And I'm like, okay, so she got 5 years off. I'm like, does that mean I can retire at 60? Because I can take my time.
That's funny. Well, and on that note, like, I think when else would you go up to somebody and ask any questions about their sex life? You know,
Right?
like
Yeah.
when else would you go up to a relative stranger and say like, so are you guys doing it? Like, no, you wouldn't do that. It is not okay
Yeah,
to
let me
say,
tell you all about it.
yeah, like it is not okay to go up to somebody and be like, so are you guys trying or what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, I like so many times because we got asked with Ainsley, like, I swear Ainsley was like 2 months old. And so when are you going to have another one? And I'm like, that is none of your damn business. None of your damn business. Jeez. The other thing I wanted to say about can it be done right? In this book specifically, I think it could have totally. Either we could have seen this couple break up because they were having problems, regardless of this, they were having problems. They came to this impasse of they wanted different things. They could have broken up and whatever, that could have been a thing. We could have seen them walk further through the IVF process and then get pregnant. I mean, they could have gotten pregnant that way. And we could have seen, either the real life experience of this bringing them closer or pulling them apart or whatever. Or they could have said, okay, you're right. This is too much on all of us. We're going to take a break and do all these other things. Or we're going to adopt. We're going to start the adoption process. Or we're going to look for a surrogate. Or, there's 48,000 other options that you can take if you want to do that. Or be very vague in your infertility description. When you say IVF, you automatically say, these people have slim to no chance of getting pregnant naturally.
You've locked yourself in.
You've locked yourself into like these people severely struggle with fertility. If you are very vague and don't say what's going on or anything like that, then sure, maybe it might happen because it could be something very, very minor that is going on. So I feel like, it can be done well. If you're going to say IVF, either let us see the process that can end in success or failure. Can't see both fingers, but, or give us a different solution because the oops, I'm pregnant in an IVF is like, again, I'm going to say, I hate it. So,
especially in their situation where it's like, it didn't even have anything to do with the process. It's just like, they had sex before she left and that was the time they got pregnant. And it's like, really?
Yeah. Also, like
thousands of dollars they've spent.
Right.
This extra sex is the one that got her pregnant. I was like, no.
Well, and even like the normal, healthy, functioning woman, the amount of days in a month that you can get pregnant are not very many. Like there's a lot of conditions that have to be really right and for you to get pregnant anyway. So like a courtesy goodbye bang it's not likely to give anybody a baby. Like even if you're perfectly healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Geez. And like I feel like we all need your shirt, Bree, that says empowered women empower women. Like let's just, as all these women authors, like let's just see some different lifestyles of not having kids or not getting married or having kids and no husband. Or
Kara, do you have the McKenna Lee book close to you?
Which one? Oh yes, I do. Because I love
it. I mean, if we're gonna do motherhood, the little girl has Down syndrome. When's the last time you read a romance with a single mom of a special needs child?
Well, I follow the author on Instagram, and her son is Down syndrome, and he's, I think, in his early 20s, and it's actually Down Syndrome Awareness Month this month.
Okay.
And so she's been posting stuff every day with pictures of her little boy when he was first born. And one of them she posted today, she was like, this might be a hard one to look at because her son had to have open heart surgery when he was however young. And I'm like, I identify, hello, yes, me. And I was just like, yes, because I know a lot about that surprisingly with my condition, not surprisingly, often there are other things. Like I could have very easily been Down syndrome with the heart condition. There's always something else, or almost always something else. So I was like, I just love the fact that she's sharing so much of that and the struggles that she went through in her personal Instagram. And I'm reading this actually starting tomorrow and I cannot wait.
Oh, good. Yeah. I just feel like there are so many, paths that you can take in regards to parenting, fertility, all this kind of thing. And like seeing a book like that where they have a child with Down syndrome is definitely the exception, not the rule. Whereas in reality, like Sarah, what are the statistics on heart disease and things in babies?
1 in 100.
1 in 100?
100 children will be born with a congenital heart defect. Out of that 1 in 100, 80% of them will never require medical intervention.
Oh, really?
It'll just be a murmur. You know, you take your kids and they're like, oh, they've got a little murmur. You hear about it all the time, right? Actually, funny, Brian from the Backstreet Boys, he is one, and he didn't require medical intervention until he was in his 20s, is when he had open heart surgery.
Oh,
so
wow.
that you learn these things if you're someone with it. But
or if you're Backstreet diehard.
But 20% of us, it requires medical, and 2%, and I am one of the 2%, are critical. You know, that needs to be right away. Yeah, like right away. Like I think you guys know that I've told before that I was sent home to die at 6 months old because there was nothing that I was 10 pounds at a year old. And, you know, it's what I have. You hear, I think it's Jimmy Kimmel's son. Was it 2 years ago? Was born with TOF, which is tetralogy of Fallot, which is a congenital heart disease, but it is the most common. It's if you're going to get it, most of the kids are going to have that if it's critical, whereas mine's way more on the rare scale, unfortunately. But it's just like, I would love to read about parents who have, like, I'm looking forward to this one with the Down syndrome. Like, how are they handling it? And supposedly the author put on her Instagram that she gets into this little girl having heart surgery. I'm like, now I really want to read it because I know what it was like from my perspective. Don't know what it was like from my mom's.
Yeah.
That's what I want to read is, you know, how did my mom and dad deal with this? Dealing with the child that's sick. You know, that's got to be hard on a marriage.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
It's got to be. And yet we don't see any of that. And we don't see that ever, which you don't want to write a bunch of downer books. I get it. And like this book that we're talking about specifically, you know, another problem I had with it is it started with this gut punch women's fiction. And then by the end, it was like the tone totally wanted to be this lighthearted Christmas book, Christmas romance, where everybody gets their happily ever after. And both types have their place. And I think you maybe can do both at the same time, but this one was not successful in my opinion.
No.
I just need to weigh in really quick.
Yeah, the instinct debate.
Ashley and Steph, I am with you. Okay, my phone, in fact, it did it today. Auto corrects it to JT. That is like how much of a problem I have.
I know when you type out in sync on the iPhone, like it does in sync.
Yeah. Like star asterisk in sync.
Oh, I used to be. I went to high school in Memphis, so I was like, "Where is Justin?" Like, and I worked for the Memphis Grizzlies. His mom would like sit behind me while I was at work, and I'd be like, "Let this be the day that she brings her son to the bathroom." Okay.
Oh my gosh! Yes, please. Even his mom, I would be like, "That's Justin Timberlake's mom." I would, right, selfie.
See, though, I did mention the Backstreet Boys, but I am of the generation of New Kids on the Block.
Yeah.
That was my first concert. And I did see NSYNC in concert.
That's funny. See, then by the time I was a tween, Joey McIntyre and Jordan Knight, they were all doing like independent stuff. Like I remember being far too young listening to Jordan Knight's Give It To You and watching the video in the like carnival scene and like singing the song, doing the dances. And I'm like 10. You guys, I'm like, oh my gosh, I am so embarrassed.
Oh, that's so funny.
Classic era of music.
So good. So good.
Now I need to listen to some 90s music tonight, 90s and 80s.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, you guys, I've talked about it in my vlogs a few times. Ainsley now knows how to say NSYNC, play Bye Bye, or Alexa, play Bye 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 by NSYNC. And she like knows all these like Early 2000s song.
Love it. Love it.
You know how like they make those kids bop like versions of songs. So like I walk into Asia's room one day and Genie in a Bottle's on. So I'm like, I walk in, I walk up in the door. The look of utter disgust on her face. She was like, you know this song? And I was like, honey, Christine Aguilera, okay?
Yes. Yes.
She did not grasp that like it's an old song. They just remade it.
Mom,
right. You know this song.
Cool.
I was like, I'm cool.
Yeah, right. So I was just listening to a podcast called Spawned. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, but it's like kind of parenting podcast or whatever. But they were talking about one of them, their kids, like they took all their favorite artists right now. Like I don't even know, I don't know anything, but they were like, okay, if you like Miley Cyrus, let's listen to some Britney Spears, like the OG Miley Cyrus, you know, and like made their kids listen to all this 90s music and that kind of stuff. And I was like, that will be me.
You have to. Oh, that's so good. Oh yeah, that Ainsley loves NSYNC. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so if you could have Donnie, I had Joey, so that's okay. We would have been fine.
Kevin from Backstreet Boys, huh? I had a neighbor.
Oh, AJ was
awesome. AJ?
Yes.
Bad
boy. Always, always, always.
I could have sworn he was one of the Masked Singer people last season or whatever. I could have sworn. Oh gosh. That is obnoxious. Poor Kayla.
My first car driving around listening to that song. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Does anybody know what the actual lyrics of that song Blue were? He's like, Blue. What is he saying?
I think it is dabba dee dabba da or something like
the lyrics right there.
Yeah. So you love Masked Singer? No. Do you want to even get me started? I did love Masked Singer. We watched it religiously as a family. It was like nobody talk. Masked Singer is on, and then the second season or whatever the one just happened was rigged, 110% rigged. So we have now boycotted the show. And so you'll see like on the home screen, it'll have like advertisements for it. She'll be like, we watch The Masked Singer, and me and Jeremy are both like, no, we don't watch it.
I used to love shows like The Voice, but I really only watched the auditions. And then once they get into the competition, I don't care anymore.
We started to watch like the last season of it, and then Netflix or Hulu or whatever cut us off. Like it went away because it's only on for a month after airing. Mm-hmm. And so we couldn't see it.
Wait, people want you to explain. Why?
Okay. So the way The Masked Singer works, it's all they're celebrities in costume that you don't know who they are. So they get on and they do like a clue package each day. Like each season is structured a little bit differently, but so they'll get on and they'll like do this little clue package about who they are, and they will perform a song in full costume. And so then there's 3 judges and they have to guess like who they are. And then the studio audience votes on who stays and who goes. And so each week one person is eliminated. So I can't remember. I wish I remembered what season this last one was. Maybe it was 3, because the first 2 seasons were both male winners. And so we get down to like the final 5. And this chick, she is the only chick left. And so she keeps getting pushed forward despite the fact that she sucks. And like these other 4 guys or whatever, I can't remember details, but like they are exponentially better. Like Hunter Hayes was one of them. Sorry, I'm spoiling it. He is fantastic.
Oh, he's amazing.
There were other people that got kicked off so this girl could stay, and she was terrible. I mean, she was terrible comparatively. She was millions of times better than I could ever do. So I'm saying this as a viewer who is watching the other very, 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 very talented people. She sucked in comparison. And yet, because there had never been a female winner, she got pushed and pushed and pushed, and she won the damn show. And so I'm like, whatever. This happened before COVID, but regardless, I think it was her family in the audience or something. I just was so, we were like, okay, so the first time she like beat somebody that she shouldn't have beat, we were like, maybe that's just our opinion. Then the next time it was like, okay, this is fishy. And so I'm like talking to Nicole from the Girl Bookworm, because she also watched it like religiously. And we're both like, no way this can keep happening. No way. And then she won. And that was the one day of the year this year that I have gotten on Twitter to be like, what are people saying about this? Because everybody was like, rigged, rigged, rigged. I'm not watching this shit. And everybody was like up in arms about it. And so, no.
Oh, wow. Ashley, I do remember, what was it? It was on, what was P. Diddy's on MTV making the band. I miss those shows. I mean, it was too, but.
Did you guys watch it when O-Town was the band? They made the band with O-Town. And you guys, Ashley Parker Angel, he is the like lead singer of that. His name's Ashley. He is like the biggest Instagram slut ever, which I mean that in like in a loving way, but he's always like posting some little zha.
Danity Kane. Oh yes. The girls.
Yes. Steph, Jesse McCartney. McCartney. I can't remember what his name was, but he was like so good, and she beat him. Candace Beres, who was she, Steph? Tell me who she was.
Because Hemstrom, I think he's somebody else.
No, that's Candace
Cameron, my bad.
Yeah, Candace Cameron Bure or whatever. That very close. She's like a basketball wife or something. I mean,
so she's a celebrity.
Yeah, I think she is. And yeah, Pussycat Dolls, were they making the band? I think they were.
I don't remember.
Which one of the Pussycat Dolls is one of the judges on Masked Singer? Full circle.
Yeah, I feel like out of that group, only Nicole and Melody, whatever her name, I'm like, can the rest of the girls even sing? I don't know.
They're just there to look pretty.
Yeah.
Atlanta Housewives.
Okay, fair enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we don't watch that. We don't support that in this house.
I never watched singing shows, not even American Idol. I never had any interest.
American Idol used to be good when it first started. I only watched the auditions because there would be people that it's like, dude, you cannot sing. Like, who told you?
Your mom was lying to you, clearly.
So funny, but then the competition happened, and I was like, I don't care anymore.
I watched the Kelly Clarkson season with Justin Guarini and Ruben Studdard. Was he on that series or that season? Because I also watched the Clay Aiken one, which I think that was the next season or something.
Did Ruben win? Did he win whatever season he was on?
I thought Clay Aiken did.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, it was him and Clay. That's right. It was him and Clay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was him. There you go. It was Ruben and Clay. And they were both so good, but what's happened to them now?
Oh, Candy was a part of SWV. Okay, I guess I will always be a boy stan, even though Adam left. I know.
Yeah.
It was so nice to look at.
Seeing Adam and what's the guy's name? Gwen Stefani's boo. Seeing them like
Blake Shelton is an asshole, pardon my French.
How do you really feel?
I don't like him at all.
Your Canadian is coming out.
Love his music, cannot stand him as a human being.
Yeah.
Although I've seen him in concert. I saw him in concert 20 years ago. He had hair down to like here, like really long and in a ponytail way back in the day. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I agree, Kayla. It's like my heart hurts for them.
Yes, agreed. That's why I don't think I've been able to watch them.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. It's like we're just publicly shaming these people.
They can take it. They're celebrities, but they can take it.
Content out there. It's it's gonna be criticized.
That's true. Yeah, but just some of them get up there with so much like swagger and confidence, and then you're like, "Oh gosh, honey,
I know.
Go home, go
I
home."
know. Like my husband here watches a lot of the dance shows.
I love dance shows.
And like all these stuff, like there's one J-Lo is a host of, and like she'll tell people, no thanks, and I'm like, this was good.
Yeah,
mean? I'm like, I can't watch this. I can't watch stuff.
The only one I liked was Dancing with the Stars. And the year that Joey from NSYNC was on was my favorite.
Yes, I love Joey.
Yes.
I just think it's so funny that his name is Fatone and he got called Fat One.
Well, yeah, and then he got fat.
Because he did get fat, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's funny. I have feelings about J-Lo, huh?
Yeah, Ash.
Yeah.
Tell us what
So-
y'all are reading for, like, what's getting y'all into the fall mood. Let us
wait,
know.
no, I want to ask everybody, are you guys seasonal readers?
Yes.
Then I want to know, if you are, what's your go-to in the fall? Sarah, you?
I am a seasonal reader, but only in the fall and winter. The rest of the year, I am not. I don't read spring books or summer books, but as soon as like September hits, I'm like, A, give me all the Christmas books, and B, give me all the cozy books. Anything that makes me, it's the start of winter, and I want like spooky, like cozy mysteries. Like all this month, I'm trying to get to spookier stuff, and so I am seasonal from like September to December.
Okay. Where are you?
I think I am, and I think fall and winter have always been my favorite seasons to read, but I feel like as I get older, I appreciate how fun each one can be. Like spring and summer, I think they kind of just go together. There's fall and winter and spring and summer. Spring and summer are fun, travel, romantic comedies. And then fall and winter, it's like I want to read all the things, but I also want to take my time because it is like more cozy stuff, holiday romances, cozy mysteries, just like darker stuff. So
I don't know. Am I? No, I don't. I am, because like I really want to read Christmas things and cozy things. And if I'm going to read cozy mysteries, it's like now, from now until December. But I'm so like, I can't get pigeonholed. So like, I love reading summer romances in January. Like, I just love that because it's bitter cold where I live. And so then I'm like, I love doing that. So sort of, but I also just like to sprinkle it in with like whatever. So,
well, it's summer all the time where I am. So
yeah.
That's why I really rely on good holiday stuff.
I'm just going to start spamming you with pictures on a daily basis as soon as it starts snowing up here.
Please do. I woke up with a notification from the weather app that it's going to be in the 90s today. And I was like, girl, it's 6:45. Like, don't ruin my mood today.
Yeah.
So, Chloe, because I feel like in romance too, like we don't see we see Christmas romances, right? But you don't see like fall themed romance.
Yeah. So,
you got into fiction at all? Because I feel like there's women's fiction in the summer and the spring, but like nothing that's like fallish or winterish.
yeah. Well, you had suggested, do we want to come to this conversation with some fall recommendations? And I said, I don't even know that I have any, because I can't think of any books that are like specifically fall, unless I'm just not thinking of any. If anybody's got some in the chat that are really like fall-y, like I can tell you thrillers and I can tell you some cozies that I've read and I can do that kind of thing. But like a strong fall setting, I think is hard to find.
Yeah.
It's true.
I think a lot of it is just us looking for darker stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steph just asked, it hasn't popped up, so I can't put it up here yet. But where are the Thanksgiving romances besides Hallmark movies? And where's the Halloween romances? We've talked about that in other places. Like, there's no, like,
I have
paranormal romances.
I have found some Halloween on Kindle Unlimited. I've been hunting it out.
Debbie McComber also has a couple Thanksgiving romances, but yeah, if I'm going to find something that's like actually seasonal, it's usually Miss Debbie. Debbie does it.
There was a thread, I'm blanking on, there was an Instagram thread done that was all Halloween romances. So I'll try to find it and like reshare it. And I was like, whoa, I didn't know there was that much stuff.
Yeah.
There is.
But what I find is a lot of them tend to be paranormal or fantasy or what have you. I want and I'm just, demanding here. I want just a contemporary romance that takes place over Halloween.
Okay, have you guys read the Hocus Pocus book?
No.
A spade. That one?
No. What was that? Hold on, I need to open my Goodreads. Hocus Pocus.
The novella?
No. Hocus Pocus and the all-new sequel by A.J. Jantha, which
I haven't read it.
Like her name is not even on the cover because she's so ashamed of it. I'm just making that up, but it did suck.
I think, Steph, Good Witch is just a TV series. I don't know if it's a book. Halloween Boo. Thank you, Kayla.
You guys all read that last year.
It was so good.
All right, I'm jumping out of my Amazon because I found one recently and I wanted to read it this month, but I've got about a gazillion other things that I will be reading.
Actually, the first part was a literal retelling of the movie. This was a novelization of Hocus Pocus, which was fine. And then I didn't. Oh, Steph, what was amazing? I hate how StreamYard chat is so far behind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking the other thing, I don't really like to read thrillers in the fall and winter. Like I prefer thrillers in the summer because most of my reading is at night. And if it's a scary thriller, it better be light out when I'm still reading.
Yeah.
I found some ghost romances because I wanted some ghost romances. But there's an author I found, her name's Catherine Knight, both with K's.
Mm-hmm.
And she has I don't know, all of her stuff seems to be ghost romances. So I have Ghost Moon downloaded. I'm going to start with that one. And if I like it, then I'll keep reading her stuff. But that's what I was looking for. I was like, there's got to be some ghost romances. I'm not really vampires and stuff. I'm not sure if I'm ready for all that yet. So
yeah. I also like to read more like historical and stuff in the fall. Yeah. Because it's like, especially if it's like really far back, it's like before when they were doing stuff by candlelight and stuff. It's like,
yeah.
Now that it's dark and cozy and all that, I like to do that.
I started this one, and then wait, Sarah, I do have a Harlequin that's got pumpkins on it.
There you go.
I can tell you that
I'm gonna start this. Audio.
I saw that on your Instagram. I meant to ask you about that.
I'm trying to go knowing thing as the least amount as possible. I'm just gonna read the damn thing.
Good.
One of my favorites for a recommendation. One of my favorites. It's an older Harlequin historical, and it's called Halloween Husbands, and it's 3 little novellas within the book. And one takes place in medieval times, one is Regency, and one is American West. And it's because Halloween's been celebrated for like 2,000 years. Mm-hmm. So it's just really neat to see the different ways that it was. And it's a really delightful little book. If you just want something very quick to read, I'm sure it's available on the Kindle if you can find it.
What's the author that you bought off of Thrift Books recently? You sent us
Sandra something or another. The book's way up over there. But yeah, that was an old Regency Signet Regency romance.
Okay.
The Halloween. Oh, the Magic Jack-o'-lantern is what it was called.
Okay.
I think it's Sandra something is the author.
Look at Steph loving paranormal now. I know. I have been craving some paranormal. Like, it's sad because I went to Barnes & Noble a couple of days ago to look for a book for school. And I was like, let me just see what paranormal romances they have. And literally I saw Christine Feehan, Terry Spear or somebody. And of course, Barnes & Noble doesn't have all the books in the series. I was like, literally 2 authors for paranormal romance.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing. I'm like, are they not coming out anymore? I don't know.
Have you read Jennifer McMahon? Something like that? McMahon? I'm stuttering, but the Night Sisters one, and
I read that one. I never read it, and then I unhauled it.
I don't really love them, but they take like a paranormal twist they're like a historical paranormally. Tara from Buzzword Books, I think she's still here. Tara, you've read some of hers, haven't you? Let me know. Read Alana Andrews. I haven't read her.
No, me neither.
Okay, Antonella, tell us what to read. Yeah, paranormal is pretty big on KU, on Kindle. You just have to go look for it.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure with the paranormal readathon coming up, there will be a lot of recommendations. And just maybe too late. Because once November comes, I'm out. I'm into Christmas stuff.
Mm-hmm.
NetGalley called "If You Cherish Me" by Clara or Sierra. I can't see. Night. It's set in autumn, but that's not the main point of the book.
Okay.
Okay.
The
Night Huntress series. Not yet. And Tara said not yet to the Jennifer
Thank you, McMahon.
Oh, it's like McMahon.
Yeah.
So maybe McMahon. I mean, that kind of makes sense. I don't know. She writes some that, like, if you go into them knowing they're going to be paranormal, maybe that's good, but I didn't, and so I was like,
So what are
large series too? Yeah, me too, Steph. Except, I mean, I still keep trying them because I do, but
that is the thing with paranormal series. It's like 30-something books, and they're still writing, and it's like my commitment is not that far.
Yes, yep. But I just have like this compulsive need to marathon.
Yeah.
So, hello. Okay, so are we reading more nonfiction in November? Yes,
I am.
We'll be reading a nonfiction for the Book Sisters, but we don't know which one yet. We'll see.
Nope.
So if you haven't voted, go vote.
I think I have, I'm going to read some memoirs. Lenny Kravitz, who I love, he has one that just came out. So I'm going to read that. I think I'm going to read Mariah Carey's, because that should be interesting.
I've heard good things about that one, actually. A lot of good things.
I know a lot of people don't like her because she's a diva, but I think her divaness is hilarious.
Oh, she is. She's brilliant. It's not over that point where now it's just hysterical.
Yeah. I'm like, she knows what she's doing, you guys.
She was actually one of the first artists I got an album for. I've been a fan of hers for a long time.
Yeah, my sister, so some of you guys know my sister, but she used to sing along with it, and that just makes me so happy because nobody can be Mariah Carey.
Right?
So you guys, there's like this weird blue Jeep parked in front of my house right now, like stuffing crap into my mailbox. Like what? But so my husband and I are opposite political parties, and that works out great, especially in election season. But that also means we get every flyer and every door hanger. It's like we get everything. And so I'm wondering if that's it. But
that's what it is.
What are you doing? Stuff in my
I agree. Izzy said Jessica Simpson's memoir was surprisingly good. That memoir.
I want to read that one.
Read it on audio.
Okay.
Yes,
maybe
sure. She narrates it.
November, one of my picks.
Yeah, she narrates it on audio. So, and it is good, especially for people who have fangirled over things.
See, her or 98 Degrees were never an interest to me, but of course I got caught up in all the, stuff that talked about her, and I really did feel sorry for her, a lot of it.
But she talks about in that book, she knew what was going on and she played it up. And
I don't doubt it at all.
She was a personality.
I thought that she did. I was looking back on that time and I was like, she wasn't the popular one, but it's kind of explained and you're like, yeah, I can see why you weren't the popular one. And it made a lot of things make sense. I mean,
well, that Mickey Mouse Club group.
Her values, there were. I think that she really maintained her her values, and it's like I don't have to be the star of the show. I'm good, I gained a lot more respect for her after reading that book.
Me too. and like that Mickey Mouse Club clique of like Justin Timberlake, JC, Brittany, Christina, Ryan Gosling, like all of them. It's like they just kind of had a shoe in. I said Christina, but you know, it's like they kind of had a monopoly on the pop scene.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, I still don't get it. Like, okay, so Britney was great because she could dance, right? She was a pop star. But I was like, why isn't Christina more popular than Britney? Because Christina can sing.
Oh, she
can sing. I never got that. I was like, why do we like her more just because she can dance and shows her stomach?
Justin, because of Justin. Duh.
Well, that's it. It was a power couple dynamic thing, you know, like.
And Christina, like Britney put herself out there as like this virginal girl. And then when she was with Justin, it was all like, are they doing it? Are they not doing it? You know, like all of that. And then Christina was just kind of like doing her thing. Like she was so talented, but oh yeah, vocally Christina, like she won that show.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, Britney is the pop star.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Mariah writes her songs.
Yes.
my husband asked me one time, like, do you ever want to renew our vows? And I was like, nope. Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon taught me we don't do that. Because remember, they did it every single year. And like, that did not work out.
You know, she was like engaged to this like billionaire from Australia or something some years ago. And after her and Nick Cannon broke up, she sued him when they broke up for wasting her time. I was like, I love her.
Awesome. That's funny.
She sued him for wasting her time.
That's awesome. I wonder if did she win?
I don't know what happened. Knowing her, she probably just did it so that I would get talked about. And
yes, probably.
Yep, probably so. Probably so. I'm looking up a couple bookish this or that's really quick because I like doing these. Okay. Why can I not see today? I know why.
Beyonce.
What?
Steph said Britney is the Beyonce. Steph? That is blasphemous, Steph. Beyonce can sing, Steph.
Yeah, she can.
Do you guys follow Britney on Instagram?
Oh, that girl's going through some stuff. I feel bad for her. She needed help when she had her kids and she didn't get it. I think we've talked about this before, the three of us.
Maybe.
I really feel for her. She went through something and it's never been dealt with.
Yeah.
That poor girl.
I know.
Yeah. That childhood pop stardom. I mean, and she was like 17, but still, I mean.
It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm not finding good this or that. Does anybody in the chat have good questions for us?
Did y'all ever watch that show? You remember when Britney when her and Kevin started dating and they had a reality show?
What was it called? Chaos. It was called Chaos.
Yeah, it was like Chaos.
Oh, yeah. I didn't. I was like,
no, Britney.
We're Steph's bringing the controversy.
Oh, Steph.
Who's overrated?
Beyonce.
Oh, I agree. Can I say that?
I think her and Jay-Z are sweet. I like them.
They're adorable, but
I like them. I like her. Destiny's Child had a reality show too.
Everybody did.
I know.
It was like the thing way back when.
Back then, it was music focused, and that's what I miss. Like MTV, if you're gonna do reality, go back to Cribs where it's celebrities' houses or MTV Diary or True Life. Like we don't get music anymore.
Again, now wait till I was down visiting the States to watch any of that good stuff because we never got that.
Sorry, Canada. Yeah, and now like pop stars and stuff don't have as much incentive because they can go on Instagram and Twitter and share everything they want to share. So it's not like they need the shows for publicity.
Yeah, True Life. It was so good. I loved that.
Yes, me too. True Life. Yep. Yep.
Even freaking all that would have freaking celebrities perform at the end. Like,
yeah.
it was just all about music.
You know what else we watch a lot is Sesame Street with Usher and Sesame Street with NSYNC and like I think there are still celebrities coming on Sesame Street.
Usher, really?
I'm just
Usher.
glad.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, is that really kid friendly?
It's still thriving.
There's
I'm glad.
one song I know by Usher, and it's certainly not kid friendly. Let's put it that way.
So do we want to round out with like what are y'all gonna read next? Can y'all let us know what y'all are gonna read next?
Yeah.
What do y'all read next?
Yes. I don't know. I read my 2 Scribd books this month, and so that was great.
You're only a man.
And you guys, so I text these ladies all the time because Scribd, every time I open a dang book, it says there's been a problem with this book, and I have to uninstall and reinstall the app. However, I always write a strongly worded letter because I'm always like, come on, guys, this is BS. And they said they just did an app update, so hopefully we'll stop. But also, did you know that I think it's just an Apple thing? It only going to 2. Is that true? Does anybody know?
Because I have Android and I can go up to 3.5.
Brie, did you know that? Yeah, Scribd is only an Apple thing that only goes to 2.
See, this is why I go with Android. Oops, sorry.
That drives me nuts. I need at least 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
The Takeover, Witch is Steeped in Good. Okay. Ooh, a witch book sounds fantastic.
Go ahead.
I was gonna ask, are y'all doing anything on NetGalley right now or no?
No, I'm down to 1 book and it feels wonderful.
Oh gosh. I haven't logged into NetGalley in weeks. I'm scared.
I played the 5th.
Yeah. Steph, you'll never be, or Sarah, you'll never be caught up.
Sarah, I'm down to like 250.
This is a NetGalley book and I'm reading it next, so does that count?
AKA the book is coming out.
This book came out 6 years ago, but I'm here to tell you about it.
I'm supposed to be doing a month-long buddy reread of Rebecca. I haven't started that yet.
Oh, love that book.
So, because everybody's excited about the movie, and I just have to tell people, Netflix's adaptation is not the first adaptation of Rebecca.
No, it's not.
There is an Alfred Hitchcock one. I highly recommend watching it first before Netflix's adaptation.
Yeah.
Love that book. Love that book.
NetGalley.
How many you have? Tell us how many.
Yeah, how many? I have limited myself. I can only browse on NetGalley if I'm like posting a review. I can't just get on there and browse.
That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah.
That's a good
idea.
Do you all read the Christmas romances during December, or are you burnt out by then? Last year I was burnt out.
Christmas in December. Only Christmas in December.
Yeah, last year I waited to start until November, and so then I was okay. And I just can't read straight Christmas. I have to pepper them in with other stuff. But
yeah, that's what I'm trying to do this year, so that I'm not burnt out by December.
You guys, I feel like I'm being so rude, yawning all the dang time. Sorry.
You're a mom of little ones. You're allowed.
22 is not bad. Don't be hard on yourself.
No, 22.
30 was bad, but Steph and Sarah are in the hundreds.
The several hundreds.
I went hungry on NetGalley and have a lot of cookbooks to read. I didn't even think about that.
You need to get cookbooks.
That's a great idea.
What if I get approved for those? Have you ever tried to get something outside of the genre that you specified? And like, I feel like they're like, girl, you don't read this. I'm not giving you this.
My husband is he gets a lot of the biographies. Like he's got the Lenny Kravitz. I think he's got the Alex Trebek, and there was another one. Michael J. Fox. I think he got that one too. Because he loves
Fox has like 40.
And he's like, I want, like, he keeps seeing all these like kids books, but they actually look really good. He's like, I could just borrow those, read them in 10 minutes, and have my reviews like way up here.
Yeah.
Percentage of
several hundreds.
How do you review cookbooks? I guess try a recipe, or can you just look through
I know I got
them? Thank you, Amanda.
Horrible.
what's our guy from like Master Chef? What's
Gordon
his
Ramsay.
I got his cookbook and I'm like, am I supposed to cook the stuff and review it or flip
I
through?
think if you just flip through and say like how many
Yeah.
you would want to make.
What the photography was like, how easy it is to read the recipe, like does it make sense? That would be my suggestion.
I do want to start buying cookbooks. Rachel Ray had one come out last year. I still want to buy that one, but I'm like, I just look at all the ingredients and I'm like, this is going to be expensive. Like,
And it's
a
more shelf
lot.
space that I don't have, and I just think I can go on Pinterest and look up a recipe.
Yeah.
yes.
Well, and I don't have my book. You asked to see my book one time, didn't you, Bree, about my recipe book?
Yes.
I have a system, and I just do like I print off every recipe that I'm interested in, and then once I try it, I put it in a page protector with notes, and so then I have them all together based on like I want to say genre, but whatever, like kind, and then second chance
Yes, I snagged that. I saw that on Instagram.
on Cypress. Mm.
Is that her book with Forever that's coming out?
Mm-hmm. Because
It
I saw
is?
it on Forever. Yes.
Yay.
I have that one up right away. Like, ooh, free. Gonna read now.
I'm going to go get it.
So it's no longer like it's not a live show unless somebody buys something. It's no
That's
longer
right.
a live show unless we get.
Free or not, it doesn't matter.
Unless
Knowing
we get-
Niagara well, I do not need to add another book to my NetGalley list.
I am feeling so much pressure to read off my shelves, but you guys, sneak peek. Boom, boom, boom.
You got new shelves?
New
Nice.
shelves. So
Nice.
yeah, things I have much more space to spread out because I am plumb full over here.
That's
So-
awesome.
Chloe, you are literally surrounded by books.
I love it. I love it.
Back.
Truth.
Where's
Yeah,
your
I know. I
babysitters
think got a
club?
little guy.
Where's the babysitters clubs?
Oh, there. Hold on. Can you see them?
Awesome.
Hold on. Where am I? I can't see what I'm doing. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Chloe. Yeah,
Yeah.
you need to read off your shelves. I understand.
Yes. I have so many things going on. Well, so when we moved into this house, it was planned that we would have a bookshelf downstairs for all the like middle grade and stuff. And I mean, I'm still waiting. So we won't go there. I got new bookshelves off of Amazon for $45 each.
What is your favorite book so far this year? Ooh,
Ooh.
your favorites.
Yes.
I think mine is still The Trouble with Hating You by Sajni Patel, which I talk about all the
Really?
time.
I need
love
to.
it.
Nothing's jumping out at me.
Well, I read Love and Other Words this year. I read Eleanor and Gray this year. I'm trying to think what else I have read. I've read a lot of really good stuff. Can we do top 5?
Just so y'all know, this is why I love Sarah and Chloe. They very rarely give 5 stars out.
Very rarely, yeah.
Fair enough, yeah.
Oh,
Probably Still I Owe You One by Sophie Kinsella.
Oh, really? Oh, but
Yeah.
that was because it was really
That meant a lot to me personally. So yeah.
And speaking of Sophie, I read The Virgin and the Rogue by Sophie Jordan, and I loved that book. So it's a favorite too. I was like, look at me loving an historical romance in 2020.
Steph's keeping it. Mum's the word. This year, you guys, I'm gonna try to do Vlogmas, and so yeah, I'm gonna try to do like maybe category favorites or something. I don't know how I'm gonna do that.
Well, I've only rated 15 books 5-star this year, and I'm up to 200, almost 220 books read.
Let me see about me.
You did 15, Sarah?
15 5-stars so far this year.
Hold on. I think I'm surprisingly how many?
And that's actually high because last year I only had 13 in total for the whole year.
Yeah, I think I'm at 10 maybe. maybe.
How do you see that? Do you like through a spreadsheet or can you tell that through Goodreads?
I'm that anal that I actually keep track.
Yeah.
Okay, I have 11 because I read a poetry collection that I was like,
Oh, okay.
Oh, I read a good poetry collection called Dear Girl. That was so good.
Is it pink?
Is it what?
Is it a pink cover?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna get it. I've seen it.
It was on NetGalley, and it was so good. I have Clap When You Land right now. That's poetry.
I want to read that one.
I just filmed a library book haul, so stay tuned, ladies and gents.
So for Vlogmas, just start a couple weeks early so that you have some videos, and then that way, if you don't want to use those, then you can just put them on private. But it'll like give you some wiggle room. But you can.
I'm thinking I might try to film a bookshelf reorganization and tour.
Oh, nice.
But if I do that, I'll probably hold it until December because, I mean, that'll be, I don't know. I hate doing that. One reorganization and then one tour.
Yes, some videos for you. Yeah,
there you go. Except the reorganization, like I don't know where in this room to like prop a camera while I'm doing that. So I don't know if I can make that happen, but for sure a tour.
I'm trying to corral someone here to say hi.
Pre-film and do short videos. Yeah, when Steph does Veda, she tries to keep it down to like 3 recommendations. Is that Bernard?
Oren.
That's go. How do you tell them apart?
Oren is 37 pounds of cat.
37? That's more than my 3-year-old.
I think he's 35. He's 35 pounds of beast.
Oh my god.
Oh my god,
hi, baby.
Motherhood is calling.
He's like, let me go, woman.
Oh, Antonella, I debated between Clap When You like getting it. I heard getting it on audio, but you have no idea how satisfaction giving it is to me. That's not even a phrase, but to read a book quickly and like written in verse. I'm like, I'm gonna knock out this 450-page book like in a day. I'm gonna feel so damn good about myself.
Ash, you should do it. You should do it.
Please.
Are you gonna do like the 1st through the 25th, or what are you gonna do? Like the 12 days, whatever people do? Are you doing the whole month? Like, what's your idea?
If you're talking to me, I have no idea.
I think I'm doing 25 days.
Yeah, for sure.
25 days for Advent, because I'm doing. I think I've told you guys. I'm doing a book Advent, so I'm reviewing a Christmas book every day for the first, but like 2 or 3 minute long reviews.
Okay.
Cool.
And then the Christmas day will just be a Merry Christmas kind of an idea.
So excited. I can't wait.
Yeah, I need to like let go of the fact that like they don't all need to be 10 or 15 minutes. Like they need to be
Nope. And I think because now personally as a viewer, right? Like I think like because so many people do them, to keep them under 5 minutes a piece, I think is the way to go. Because there's like, you know what I mean? In December, your feed just gets so clogged. And it's not a bad thing. Give me all the videos, but still.
Well, I can maybe even daily vlog.
If you start pre-filming, then that gives you the room for the days you just want to vlog.
Exactly.
Do that. That'll help. I was researching it last year, and it was saying that a lot more people were doing Vlogmas on Instagram.
Yes.
So I didn't have too many people in my feed that were doing Vlogmas.
That's kind of a fun idea, isn't it?
I really just got into Bookstagram, so I wasn't even looking last year.
I didn't even look, but I was like, how are people doing Vlogmas on Instagram? But now it's like you have reels and you can.
I got to figure out how to do those reels. I see yours and Steph's, and I'm like, I want to do that, but I don't know.
I feel like I still haven't figured the damn things out. Every time I post one, I'm like, I'm not doing anymore.
Hey, that's an interesting perspective. I don't watch videos that are under 10 minutes.
Yeah, it is interesting because that's usually like
I don't watch them over. Yeah.
My analytics was always like after like 6 minutes, it would drop.
How many?
It's like between 6 and 8 minutes. So I always try to keep it at 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Steph, I'm gonna be killing the reels. Yes, daily vlog. I love daily. I love vlogs. They're like some of my favorites to watch.
I don't know. Like we talked privately because this Monday is Canadian Thanksgiving, and nothing's really going on. I'm wondering, like, is there going to be anything to vlog? I don't know. Like,
I'm vlogging this weekend. I'm vlogging the whole weekend just because.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we'll be doing anything.
Oh God. Motherhood. Motherhood is coming through the door.
Yay.
The remote. I got to put the batteries in it. Don't laugh, y'all. The tape on it because the back of it is put in the trash. There you go. Lord. All right, girl.
Well, I think my computer is at 17%. And so
Yeah.
I think now would be a good time, unless anybody has any other questions or things they want us to talk about. Make sure you get on the Goodreads group and vote for November. And make sure to mark your calendars for, let me tell you the date before the 24th. October 24th will be our live show on Verity. And I think we have said it. I love Colleen Hoover. Sarah hates her, and Bree's never read her. So I think it could be a fun one.
I feel like it's going to be a hot mess. Even if you've read Verity years ago, please come share your thoughts with us. It's going to be
everybody has a strong opinion about it. So if you hated it, come tell us, because at least one of us probably will too.
It'll probably be. I'm going to try not to hate read it.
Bring the tea. Antonella says, bring the tea. Yeah, I don't know.
Your algorithms changed on IG. I think everybody's experiencing that. The algorithm. Apparently, they introduced Reels out in another region, country, or something. And every time they introduce Reels out somewhere new, engagement goes down. That's like not Reels. So it's like, nobody should take it personal. They're just freaking introducing their new thing, which I think is stupid. But I need to read other books by her.
Yeah, I've heard Antonella is pretty like spot on with me, and so I'm really scared because she doesn't like Verity.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Steph on my camp. Thanks, Steph. Cheating is not sexy. End of story.
Yeah. Amanda, it hasn't popped up yet, so I can't put it up, but she said, lovely to catch you guys. Got to go and read about 20 picture books to my kids to try to get them to sleep. Take care. Try not to poke your eyes out.
Well, yeah, come hang out with y'all. We're going to be talking about it. If you haven't read it, just take a leap of faith like me, because I've never read it.
It's on KU, and it's also on Audible Escape, so enjoy it for the next 20 days.
Is it a Kindle Unlimited where you can hear it too? Or is it, do you have to have Audible?
And it's a Kindle, it's on both. Kindle Unlimited.
Like, do you have the audio on Kindle Unlimited?
I have the audio on Audible.
Okay, but does Kindle Unlimited have the audio? You know what
I don't know. I don't have that option up here in Canada. Clearly, we're not.
Yeah, sometimes Kindle Unlimited, it'll come with a free audio version. I think it's always been on Audible, though. So it's
but Chloe doesn't have Audible Escape.
No, I don't.
Oh,
yeah. That's
but I mean, I can read it on ebook. That's not a big deal. But audio is.
You can do the text to speech.
Yeah, I just like audio. When it's an actual audiobook, I can easily listen, like while I'm making dinner and stuff. But if it's text to speech, I cannot, because I mean, there's always distraction, like kids, mom.
Yeah.
And so, and I can't focus on text to speech with mom. So. Today, Jeremy's like, Ainsley, do you need anything, or are you just saying mama over and over and over? Like, it even annoyed him, and I'm like, see, thank you.
I remember my mom saying, I'm going to change my name.
Yeah.
That's right. Mom! No, I'm not here. Yes, you are. No, I'm not.
Gosh. And that it's so funny because, like, I mean, just what they say, like, you wait forever and ever to hear them say mama. And like, even with Annie, sometimes she'll be like, mama. And I'm like, are you saying mama? Oh, and see. And then I'm like, wait, don't compare. You're not even 4 months old. If you start saying mama too, I'm gonna cry. But I love my kids, and yay for infertility. back around to the subject that we started this with. But okay, we have said we're going to go off forever, and we're not. So thank you, everyone, for joining in. Thank you for chatting. Everybody who is so vulnerable in the chat about fertility, marriage, all that kind of stuff. We appreciate you. We hear you. We see you. Thank you for being with us on this one, and we'll see you on the 24th.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.